The Detroit Lions pull off a stunner today, trailing with less than 5 minutes to go and get back to 500 on the season. What a game by the Detroit Lions. It was a hard-fought battle all game long, and they were able to pull it off at the end. A lot of good from this game. The best part is that we got the W. That is the most important part in this whole thing. People questioning Jared Goff. I myself had not lost faith in Jared Goff. My thing was the play calling. I didn't really care for it that much. But we came away with the win. I'm so excited right now. Big games from James Houston. Brock Wright, 4th down and inches. Everybody in the building thought it was going to be a run, or they thought it was going to go to St. Brown. And Brock Wright was able to convert, was wide open. The offensive line gave Jared Goff enough time to stand in there, let that play develop, but nobody was ever on him. And the Jets defense was playing stout all game long. What the Detroit Lions were up against in this game was the number 5 or 4 defense in the league, and they wind up pulling it off. The early game, you could tell it was a dogfight from start to finish. The Detroit Lions got possession first. They moved down the field. They get to the goal line, and probably one of the most questionable calls, in my opinion, of the day was the run on 4th down and goal right at the goal line. I didn't really like that, but it led to 7 points because of a Khalif Raymond punt return. Today, y'all don't understand how big today's game was. Shout out to James Houston, another sack. I think he has 5 on the season. Kaminsky steps up, makes a play. Romeo makes a play. We got to Zach Wilson 3 or 4 times. What a play by Zach Wilson, though. At the end there, 4th down and 19, picks it up. Once I saw it was 58 yards, I knew we were pretty good. We're going to have it in the bag. The Lions' offense was stale, but they were up against a top-tier defense. The New York Jets, if I'm not mistaken, have all 3 of their first-round picks in 2022 were on. Nope, they got Sauce on defense. They took Wilson, and then I want to say they took Jermaine Johnson later in the draft. But they've been building this defense, right? Sauce Gardner did not hear his name but once today, and it wasn't because he specifically made a play. I don't know, y'all. We talk about this Sauce Gardner shutdown, blah, 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 defensive rookie of the year. To me, you got to make some noise, and I didn't hear any of that. I think the Lions in this game, they showed like what the team has been building to for the last 6 out of 7 weeks. We are 6 out of 7. We lost to the Buffalo Bills by 3 points. They've been building to this, right? And today, in my opinion, was a culmination of all those weeks putting drives together. We've been comfortably ahead. We blew out the Jacksonville Jaguars. We pretty much dominated the Minnesota Vikings. But today was the epitome of what the Detroit Lions team has been building to. This was a Dan Campbell game. The Detroit Lions moved to 7-7, the first time we've been 500 for a while. And since week 3. Week 3 was the last time we were 500. I just got to say this. We can't give up on the team, right? We can't give up on it. We can't go back to SOL. One loss is not going to make us SOL. If you want to say SOL, this was not an SOL game. This game was a dog fight against a number 5 defense. And we came away victorious. You got to let go of the SOL. When it comes to Jared Goff will be here. I don't think the Detroit Lions are taking a first-round quarterback this year. They might take one in the later rounds. I'm thinking 3rd. We don't have a 4th-round pick, so maybe in the 3rd. Maybe we take a quarterback in the 3rd. Maybe we don't at all. Jared Goff made a fantastic throw after, missing Jamison Williams early in the game. When it comes to Brock Wright, what a way to make up for that drop. Colossal drop, was wide open and made up. I did not think he was going to run to the end zone. Thought he might step out, was waiting for him to go out of bounds. He decides to cut it inside. Takes it to the house. DeAndre Swift, he helped us out a little bit. Jamal Williams, his 2nd game in a row with no touchdown. The one he got was called back. A lot of stuff the Lions need to clean up. We got away with some bad plays today when it came to offense and defense. We got away with some bad plays, and we were able to come back on top. This game was so big for the Detroit Lions that with the win today, they don't even move in the standings. They don't move at all. Tonight we'll be watching for the winner between the Giants and Washington Commanders, but they don't move at all. They cannot move from the 9th seed until next week. But I will tell you this, and I want you guys to listen very carefully, all right? I'm looking right in the camera and I'm talking to you. I used to be there. I used to be an SOL fan. SOL, when Matt Patricia was here, I was going to walk away from this team. We got to get rid of the SOL, right? But I want y'all to listen very carefully what I'm about to tell you. If the right things happen and the Detroit Lions beat the Carolina Panthers next week, your Detroit Lions, who started 1-6, who I was ready to fire people next year, who traded away TJ Hawkinson, I was mad. I'm not going to lie. What are we doing? Who fired Aubrey Pleasant, who had a defensive-only players meeting. They have an opportunity to be in the playoffs next week. You hear what I'm saying to you? Week 16, would they win over the Carolina Panthers? Your Detroit Lions, who started 1-6, the Rich Strike story of the NFL, has a chance to be in the playoffs next week. I want you to think about that, how big this game was. I would have been upset to some extent if we lost because the play calling to me was just weird. It didn't have a flow to it. But St. Brown bailed us out time and time again. Chark made one catch. It was enough to get us this win, right? And that, at the end of the day, is all that matters. So the Detroit Lions played an all-around game. The defense did as well as they could do. I don't know how Uzama got so wide open. Kirby Joseph, rookies making rookie mistakes, right? Jameson Williams had an opportunity. Just think about it. If Goff places that ball better, his second catch would have been a touchdown. So that would have had to be some type of record of 2 back-to-back catches. Your first 2 catches are touchdowns. And they would have both been over like 40-something yards. So if you're a Lions fan, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't got no room for you. The bandwagon is full. We don't need any more people on this bandwagon. If you wasn't here at 1-6, I don't care if you was talking about firing people. If you weren't here at 1-6, you don't get to come here now. The Detroit Lions, 7-7. They've won 6 out of 7. They lost to the Buffalo Bills at home by 3. The defense is top 10 since they fired Aubrey Pleasant. My heart was beating. I was nervous, but we got the dub. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Jared Goff is my quarterback. He is my quarterback. I'm not going to turn on him for one bad game. Jared Goff was efficient today. He has 1 touchdown pass, another turnover-free game for Jared Goff. That's 23 touchdowns on the season. 6 games in a row for Jared Goff with no turnovers. Every quarterback could have some turnovers. The Lions, not the cleanest game, but they came away with a win. Your Detroit Lions, 1-6, are now 7-7 with a chance to be in the playoffs next week with a win. Really good time to be a Lions fan.